Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting video. Maybe the title, maybe the thumbnail gave it away, but I'm going to explain a little bit more in just a second. And hopefully this is going to be a very interesting video for you. As I briefly walk up and down this aisle right here, I wonder if you can tell where I am now. It does look like a supermarket. Now the one difference is there's no prices, there's no tickets, there's no fancy signage. There's just stuff on the shelves. Now I did pick the chocolate aisle, because that's my favorite aisle in the store. And as you can see, it looks very much like a supermarket, but I'm going to explain to you what it really is. So if you didn't figure it out, I'm actually in a dark store, and this is a concept that's slowly spreading around the world, and it's part of people who do shopping, maybe like yourself, where you do online ordering from home, maybe on your computer or your phone, and you order food for delivery to your house. And depending on where you live in the world, they may actually pick the order from a local supermarket where you live, or they might pick it from a dark store. Now, the one thing when I walked in, it's not very dark, but basically what it is this is a full line supermarket setup, but it's not for you and I as the consumer to come shopping in. It's purely for online order picking and then packing and then delivering. Now I'm going to take you for a bit of a walk around this particular dark store and just give you a little bit of an explanation about what we're seeing on the shelves. And then I'm going to give it a go and pick a few orders for delivery with a little bit of help from somebody here, hopefully. And I think I'm going to be very nervous and I might get it wrong. Hopefully, I know I'll have to get it right because my helper is going to be right on my shoulder, making sure that I fulfill the orders correctly. Then the second part of the video, and hopefully it's not too long, I'm actually going to go out and deliver some orders to people's houses. Now, I've not really been fully explained about what I'm going to do yet, so this video will evolve as I'm filming it. So I hope it'll be interesting for everybody. I think this video will be very interesting because I'm fairly sure everyone watching this has not seen a dark store before, or what it might look like, or how it works. Essentially, when you walk in, and especially if you do for the first time like I've done today, it looks like a supermarket, but everything's packed out a little bit more in bulk. It's not quite as beautiful looking as a normal supermarket would look, but basically everything's laid out by the products and by types of products and items. And you know, if I was walking in this aisle right here in a normal supermarket, all the drinks would be right over here and all of the sodas on this side, and it'd really be quite the same. But of course, this is not for public use. This is purely for the pickers of online orders when people shop from home, and then for the collection of the orders. So as I'm walking around, we're going to actually perhaps see some of the order pickers running around, and I'm going to actually have a go at doing this and try and pick one of the orders myself. Not sure how it'll go. And then these are the carts that everybody's using. And you know, of course, I've been to Ulitsa and Ostrovskogo stores before, so a lot of the things look very, very familiar. Of course, the way they're here on the shelves, it's designed purely for picking only. So there is a lot of organization to this. And then for me, when I'm walking around, there's a little bit of hecticness at the same time. But you know, of course, with the amount of products and different items, there's got to be organization to a degree so that the pickers can find the items nice and efficiently, and they're on the right shelves and the right section for grabbing. Now, this is actually all of the different shampoos and body washes, and these need to be very organized. One of the tasks as part of being a picker is also to, of course, choose the fruits and vegetables that the person has ordered. And just like in the store, they come on pallets and in boxes like this. This is all the mandarins. This is the current seasonal item in Russia, so there's a lot of them, and a lot of them will get picked and sent out for delivery. This little corner here is where all the fruit and vegetables are all handled from. So it's up to the staff here to pick the right weight of product, and then also put them into bags, and also just choose the items. So they're almost to a point hand picking the different fruit, so that that particular customer gets the best quality right now as it's put on the shelves. Part of the organization of this dark store is also to have all of the aisles numbered, and then all of the different shelves and bays numbered as well. And to make sure that at all times everything is exactly where it is when the picker comes to look for the item. And it's very critical that that item is in exactly that spot, because otherwise then you're busy looking for it and it's not there. And again, this really does to a point look like a supermarket. Probably looks a little bit more like a wholesale type supermarket. And the way they've even put all the things forward facing as well. So whoever looks after this aisle really cares about the look of the shelving for the pickers to make their job that little bit easier. As I'm walking around all the different aisles here, we can see how everything's organized by type of product. So this is the aisle with all the different teas, and exactly how they would be in the shop and how they would be purchased. That's how they're laid out here. So even right down to putting them by brand and by size and by weight. Now there is actually a lot of the order pickers running around behind me. I'm trying to not get in their way while I'm just doing this little bit of a tour of the shelves and having a look at some of the stock. My favorite bubbly chocolate right there. Oh, now of course Pitorichka and Perikrostock stores are all throughout Russia. There is thousands of locations. These are incredibly well-known stores, and the popularity of them kind of proves it just by seeing this dark store in operation, and the amount of orders that are getting picked here. Now I am trying to not get the staff too much in the video, but they are running around up and down the aisles. And as I walk back towards the entrance of the store, I'm going to call it a store because it does feel like a store to me. You can then see all the different trolleys that are ready or almost completed for the pickups. And then also, as the shelves empty, they obviously need new stock to go out. So the pallets of food and drinks in this case get delivered, and they'll then get put onto the shelves so that the actual store stays full on a constant basis. And the stock has to come in, right? Then it has to go on the shelves, and it's a never-ending process. Now, most of what I've just shown you is all of the regular food goods, or what's called dry goods to some people. And then this is actually the refrigerated section with all the dairy items and some of the vegetables. Here is mushrooms. Actually, these are the mushrooms that I buy and we cook with quite a lot. These little button mushrooms. And again, there is a organization to all of this. Now, of course, all of this is the packaging that the stock gets delivered from the manufacturers. And of course, if you went to a normal shop, it would be out for display, whereas in here, it's put out basically how it comes, and then the pickers then come and grab the items. So there is madness and chaos and organization all wrapped into one. Now, of course, you want to see in the store beautiful fridges of all of the yogurts, but when you're doing an online order, this is something you wouldn't come across and wouldn't know how it gets to you. So we're going a little bit behind the scenes. Now I say we, but it's pretty much me, and I've got a little bit of a helper today helping me film, and there's also a helper that's showing me how to do the picking of the orders. I have been told by quite a few people, Russell, you have to go and show me eggs in the supermarket. And now I'm here in the dark store, of course, making this video, and there's lots of eggs. So if people are doing online shopping and orders, The eggs would get picked from here and put into the orders for delivery right to your house or to somebody's house, depending on how you're watching this video and where you are in the world. But plenty of eggs in Russia right now. I really do hope this is an interesting insight into the back of house or the dark store concept of shopping, and perhaps wherever you are in the world, or if you're here in Russia where I am and maybe you do an online order for food delivered to your house, this video is a good insight into how that works and all the different processes and steps from that initial order that you might make on your phone to get it delivered right to your door or to your house where you live, or apartment somewhere in the world, or of course right here in Russia where these are all delivered from. So one of my tasks will be to actually pick one of the orders, and I'm here in the dark store and I've got my handheld scanner right here that shows us the items that we're going to pick, and I'm going to figure out from this enormous store where the items are. Okay, so one of the things that you need to do when you start doing the orders is you get yourself the basket, and there is actually the bags on either side to choose between the two different stores that we're picking for here. And we prepare the bag ahead of time, and you actually leave this in the middle of the corridor here because it's a little bit hard to go down the aisles. This one is fairly easy. It's in aisle 1, 13.4. And it's a croissant. And 13.4. I think it's this one, right?
Yes.
All right, I think we found it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
It's the order from Perikrostock. Yeah?
Okay.
Perikrostock.
And then we need...
With cheese.
13.5.
Еще одно.
One more.
Okay.
Bread.
Bread. Okay. All right, so far most of the order of this one that I'm doing is bread products, so we're a little bit lucky here. 1.3. And we have to find the aisle and then the shelf number, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can actually even match up the item here with the picture. And then, oh, my favorite thing, Milka chocolates. Yes, this is now aisle 12, which is, I think, in the back. If you can see here, there's aisle numbers, then there's bay numbers, and then there's shelf numbers. So I think we're gonna go this way. Now, if I was in a regular supermarket, I would know exactly where Milka chocolate is, but the fact that I'm in this dark store, this is very difficult, especially doing the first order. So 12.23. 12 is this one. 23. 0.2. Okay, cucumbers. Okay, so the next item I've actually got to find is in the refrigerated section, and part of what we're doing here is to separate the refrigerated items from the dry good items. So I need to put a second bag here, and on the side of the trolley here, there is actually two different bags. So we're actually able to pick for two different stores here. So we need to prepare that second bag. Now, how they possibly do this with only two hands, I don't know. But I think over time you get used to it and you can get a little bit faster doing this. Now, in Australia, they do actually have this system as well. I haven't seen it operating in a dark store like this, but I've seen it in the normal shops. Okay, so we're now in the cool room or the refrigerator here, and I need to find cucumbers. Now, again, there's numbers on the shelves, and on the bays there's QR codes. And the one I need is down here. All right. we can scan the item, and we need 2 of them. You have to be much faster than this. All right, and we have the 2 right here, and then we're going to move on now. We need chicken thighs. Okay, so I found the chicken here, and it was a little bit more difficult than I thought. You've actually got to check the best before date right here and make sure, of course, it's matching up, which it is. So we just scan it right there, and then we press the orange button, and we're good to move on. It looks like I found the smetana right here. Now, of course, this PDT or handheld scanner is in Russian. It doesn't have the English option, but luckily, of course, I've lived here so many years, I recognize some of the food products and items, and smetana I know very well. Now, in Russia, they also now have a QR code on dairy products, and this is mostly to protect the consumer for the best before dates and the quality of the product. All right, so walking around in the dairy section here, there is a lot of stuff. Now, of course, when you're in a supermarket, it's a little bit easier to see things. It's more beautifully displayed, but here in this dark store, it's a little bit hectic, especially when you've just walked in here or you're doing this for the first time, but you slowly get used to it now. I'm actually having to look for some salmon here. I wonder if they're preparing this for the New Year table. I love salmon. Oh, with a bit of cream cheese. And I found the right item right here. Scan the back, and we're good. And that's the order completed. So I'm going to put it in the bag now, and I'm going to prepare it for the delivery man to collect it. Okay, so once the order's been picked, there actually is a little bit of a order that you've got to do. So the certain food go in one bag, and then the actual refrigerated items go in a separate bag, because in a minute we're going to actually put them for preparation for collection. So what we need to do now is actually put the order number on the bag, and I'm doing this a little bit blind here, but I know that we have to tie up the bags now, and then we get ourselves a couple of stickers right here, and we have to write down the order number here. Okay, so the last 4 digits of the order number I've got to write right here, put on the bag, and put on the bag. And I think we're correct in what we've done right here, and we're going to move on to the next stage. And as quick as I've actually handed over the bags to the order delivery man, he's actually going to take them right from me now here, the 2 bags, the 2 orders. He's confirmed on his tablet, and he's off, just like that. I have a go at doing an order myself completely now, and this one's actually a little bit easy. This is only a 2-item order, so hopefully I can find this nice and efficiently. This is actually for Perry-Crosstalk, so we can grab the right bag for the right supermarket. And let's find this first item. All right, so I need to find the chocolate here. It's on aisle 12, and the bay number is 33. So if you have a look here again up the top, you can see all of the aisle numbers laid out here. Of course, if you're very efficient at this, you would know where the item is without knowing some of the aisle numbers. But if you're not, it can be a little bit difficult. But we'll go down aisle 12. We need 33, which I think is at the end here. This is my dream shelf, by the way. My favorite Milka right there, Milka banana, if you need a suggestion. And 33.4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need this one right here. Yes, I'm not sure what flavor that is, but that matches the item exactly what we need. And then we can scan it, and we're good. And then we now need to find some, I think this is either cream cheese or maybe yogurt. So let's go and find that, shall we? All right, so we're here in the dairy section again, and this is probably my downfall a little bit initially doing this, but I think I would get better over time. And I really need to focus now on which aisle I'm looking for, because 17, 18, it's somewhere here. Let's have a look for it, and I'm going to come right back to you. Okay, and then with the power of editing, we've actually found them right here. There is actually a helper with me at the moment, and there's also a cameraman. Obviously, I could do this without a camera, probably a lot easier than walking around, and slowly over time you get a little bit faster. There is multiple items on the shelf here, but of course these QR codes help you out here where you're looking. 18.17.3 is this shelf, and this is what I'm looking for right here, and we need 4 of them. So they bought themselves some yogurt and some chocolate, whoever that shopper is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're all good. Pop these in the bag. Now we could obviously use the cart, but we're just using it by hand because it's only a couple of items, so we're going to head on over now for the pickup. Okay, and here I am again, and we're now going to basically put the ticket number on this one. And again, we just need the last 4 digits of the order. Let's have a look. 3156. And we basically just match that up. And we actually do this by hand because it has to be human in some point. There's no robots in here yet, so we're all saved of jobs for a little while. And we're going to put that right on the order, and we're going to take it over to the fridge. If you're wondering how it is that I came to make this video and come and do these tasks, I was actually invited by X5 Group, which is the company that own and operate the stores from Pitorička, Perikostok, and Čižik. They actually have a program that they run over December and January, which are the holidays now, called Petsenica, or X5 Nitsa, which is actually a program where they invite the people from the corporate office of X5 Group to come to either these dark stores like this, or they come to some of the stores out in the different parts of Russia and the different regions to actually help out in high season, which is now between December and January. And they come and do some of the tasks that the staff are doing here in this particular store, or maybe the local store, even where I live. Someone would come from the office to that store and they'd help fill out the shelves, they'd help unload the truck, they'd help organize the back warehouse. And similar to what I'm doing today, they'd come and do the same jobs that the staff are doing here in this dark store and experience what it's like doing these actual tasks versus being in the versus being in their corporate office all the time. So I'm very privileged to be able to come and do this, and I hope the video shows that and you like how it's come out so far. Before I can start the second part of my duties here at the dark store, I need to get myself ready now. I have to put on my winter jacket, and this is nice and lined and padded inside. Now we're going to go outside to the cold today, and here in Moscow the weather is about -3 Celsius. Now it's not really full winter weather just yet. Now of course I'm doing this as a 2-part video, so the initial part was picking the orders. Now we're going to go out and do the delivery, so I get my jacket, and the next thing I need is the very famous delivery boxes right here. Now they've got a few of them here for future delivery people who take on the job, so I just need to get this on my back and head on back to the entrance of the store and find my order. So let's go. Okay, so the second part of my job today, after we did the picking of the orders, is actually to deliver one of the orders to somebody's house. Now I've actually got somebody to come along with me. Of course, they're going to make sure everything goes smoothly, but the order I need to pick is right behind me. It's on shelf number 8, and it's this order right here. So of course you saw earlier where I put the order number and the quantity on the bags and put it on the shelves. Now it's my chance to take this to somebody's house. I'm not sure how and where and what, but we'll get outside and I'll update you about where we're going. All right, so one of the things that you may see if you're living in Russia is these delivery boxes. Now, these are all over Russia. You might see people actually walking with these. You might see them on the back of bikes. You might see them sometimes in cars. But this is my order. I've got to put it in here. and seal it up, and then put it on my back, and I'm going to head on out the store, and I'm going to link up with my driver to help me deliver this package to somebody's house. So let's go. Now, I do believe we're going in a car, not on a bike. These are the very famous delivery bikes with the boxes on the back, but we're heading out this way. And let's get on outside. Now, the one thing that you might notice is it's snowing here in Moscow. And finally, winter is upon us. You can see the beautiful snow and the Christmas tree and the beautiful view here. Now, my jacket's not quite done up properly. Of course, I do that up a little bit better, but we're going to head off and deliver this food right away now. Now, part of being a delivery driver, there is a few different ways that you can do this. Of course, if you've got a car like this, the driver can literally drive to the location. Now, I'm actually going along with the driver, so of course, the driver would have picked the order, would have got his bag, would be in the car, and off we go. I'm just following along in the back, basically mirroring him or shadowing him for the delivery, and we're off somewhere in the neighborhood of the dark store where we picked this order from. All right, so my driver here, or the driver of this order, of course, if this was me doing it, then you've actually got an application on the phone right there, and it's very much like Yandex Maps or Google Maps, and it shows you where you've got to go. It's 3.2 kilometers from where we started, and it's going to take 9 minutes to get there. Actually, it's just ticked over 8 minutes. Now, of course, if I was driving and I know the streets, it would be very easy. Now, here in Russia, I don't actually have a car. I do have a license to drive, but this is the key to this. Now, obviously, you can either be a driver, delivery man, or you can do it on a bike, or you can do it walking, literally. All right, so after a short 8-minute drive around the block a couple of times, really, we've actually come to this very big apartment complex here. And I've got my order right here in the car. Now, of course, the weather's not the best today, but this is winter in Russia, and it's really to be expected that it's like this. Basically, you get the bag on your back, and make sure you look out for other cars, of course. And then we're going to find the entrance and deliver this to the customer. So actually, my driver here, who I just pointed out a little bit earlier, he actually is the one that's in control of whatever I'm doing right now. Now, of course, this is something that I could do myself once I learn the steps. And of course, you'd shadow someone for a time to do this. And he knows how to get into the complex. He knows the entrance that we're going to. And I'm simply his helper at the moment as we go on in. So these big apartment complexes now, depending on where you live in Russia, either big or small, sometimes they've got concierges. And this gentleman's actually calling up to the person who we're delivering to so that we can actually go up there and deliver it right to their door. But nice Christmas decorations, as you can see. And we're going to head to the elevator and go on upstairs. Okay, so we've found our way to the elevator and we're going up to level 18. I think that's as high as I've been in someone's elevator before, so let's press 18. 21 level apartment complex. This is the order right here. Now, I don't want to give away who we're delivering to, of course, but I've got their stuff in my bag, and a couple of minutes from now, I'll be right at their door. Okay, so I'm actually doing this live. This is not pre-recorded or made up. This is actually an order from where we started out to right here, and we're at their door, and hopefully they're home, which I know they are, but we've got our bag ready for them, and we're going to hand over the package to them in a few seconds. Sounds like they've got a few dogs. And of course, the door number right here is where we're coming to the right place, so hopefully this is going to go nice and smooth. The order's right here. Sorry? Near the door. Oh, no worries. Thank you. Okay, so this particular person didn't want to come to the door to open it, to give it to them, which is not a problem. A lot of people have different options for this, but they wanted just leaving right here by the door. And they let me know that on the speaker. So we're going to do that right now. So we take out their order for them and we'll place it right there. And for now, we're done with the delivery. Okay, so I've left the order now. All I need to do is accept that I've made the delivery. So I just press this one, and we're done. They even tell me to take a drink. So I think after this delivery, I deserve a little bit of a drink. I thought the easiest way to end this video was actually come to a local pitorishka, very close to the dark store where I was a little bit earlier and not too far from the apartment building where we just filmed the last part of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed this video from start to end if you're watching the ending now. If you are interested in either of the two positions that I was doing, so one was a picker and one was a delivery person, I'm going to actually put a link in the description so you can actually check out both of the jobs. Perhaps if you're in Russia, you might be interested in taking up one of the positions. And also on that website, it does show you about the salary and the terms and conditions of working under both jobs. So check out the description of this video if you're interested in one of those jobs. I really enjoyed doing this today. It's been very fun. I particularly like the warehouse and the dark store side of it because my background is in retail and supermarkets before moving to Russia. So it's something that I know over time I could pick up very easily. The delivery part, I'm not sure if I could handle that cold weather outside, particularly on those electro bikes. Those guys doing that really hustle around on them, so it'd be very interesting. I don't know how I could go even a few trips, let alone a day or a few days doing it. So thanks again for watching. Give it a thumbs up, post a comment, let me know what you think. Perhaps you actually do online ordering yourself and you have food delivered to your house or apartment. Perhaps you're in another part of the world and you do that. Let me know. Maybe if you've ever been curious about the whole concept of the online ordering and delivery system, which I pointed out in this video. Be interesting to read some comments. Now, if you want to follow me on Telegram, I posted a link to Telegram right here. You can click that. I do post a lot of daily photos and updates about what I'm doing on my travels and making the videos, so you can check that out. And then if you want to see an old video, I've actually made a video in this pitorishka, so perhaps you can check that out after this one, and you can actually enjoy a walk around of this store and see what it's inside and what's available, and just the variety of goods in a pitorishka here in Moscow region. Okay everybody, I'm off on another adventure and I'll see you in another video. Bye.